Welcome to Built for This. I'm your host, Brian Briscoe. My podcast features captivating conversations with intriguing people who have found purpose in their lives through their career, family, or life experiences, and just why they were built for this. Through the stories that you will hear, I trust that you will be inspired and encouraged to find just what you were built for. So let's get started. And welcome again into the studio for another edition of Built for This. And I'm very happy to welcome in today a longtime friend. She is a senior healthcare professional, a book author. We're going to talk about that. And a great ambassador within the community. I like to call her the doctor of social feel-good. But Tanya Blixt is my guest today. And Tanya, thanks for jumping on the show.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. This is going to be fun.
It will be fun. And we're going to talk kind of in reverse order, I think. We're going to start with your book, which I think people can see if you're watching us on YouTube today. It's the latest one that's out for you, Lulu the Dung Beetle.
Yes.
And first, before we talk specifically about that, I know by day you spend so much time dealing with the needs of senior citizens and their health as they age, but a real passion is your writing. And when did that start for you? Then when you felt like, you know what, this is something in my creative being that I want to do?
Well, ironically, getting ready to sit with you today, I did some research and looked back in my history. And 45 years ago in March, I wrote my first book.
Wow.
And it actually was published. It was a book that I wrote when I was in elementary school. And from there, I really took a hiatus. I used to like creative writing, so I would do some creative writing. But at this point, I think it was about 13 to 14 years ago, God really put something on my heart. And he gave me the inspiration for what is now Lulu the Dung Beetle, In Search of the Perfect Poop. And I thought about it. When I used to walk my dogs, that would be the primary thing that I would think about. And the creative juices just flowed. And it got me really, really excited. But I think I was just a little afraid to actually put it down to pen to paper. So it was all in my head for about 10 years before I finally wrote it.
Well, now it's a funny, great name for the book. It's an attention getter.
It is.
But I know that it's, and I've seen it, and I've seen all the inside, that there's such a deep meaning to it to reach kids. But first, I want to go back to that first book you wrote. Now, so what was that called? What was your...
It was called The Sunnyvale Skiers.
Okay.
And it was about a family that lived in Sunnyvale, and they took a vacation to go to ski, and they didn't understand what snow was. So it was cold, and they didn't bring jackets or gloves or shoes or scarves.
Yeah.
So they learned very quickly the difference between Sunnyvale and then the snow. So It was written, of course, I was in elementary school. I think it was sixth grade, and it was something that all sixth graders did is they wrote a story, and we illustrated it ourselves. I did bring it so you could see.
Okay.
So this is what it looked like back then.
There you go.
And we illustrated it, and then they chose books that they liked the best to put in the library.
Okay.
So mine was chosen to be put in the library, and I think it was there for 3 to 5 years, and then at that point, we were allowed to go and get our books. So I went and got my book.
So your writing career was off and running then.
It was.
So up to the point you mentioned 10, 12 years ago, God laid on your heart that, hey, I've got something for you to do here. Tell me a little bit more about that moment in your life or that particular time of your life when this inspiration came back to you to try to have a message through writing.
I really believe it was God-given. I have no idea what inspired it. I don't know where it came from. I just know he laid it on my heart. And I do believe that children need to learn how to eat and need to learn to eat a variety of foods. So that's where it started, is how do you teach kids to be healthy? Yeah. And how do you do it in a fun way? And it really evolved. It really was not about a dung beetle in the beginning, and it had nothing to do with dung. It had to do with just food and protein and the differences in food and then protein diets and the difference of protein that is synthetic or protein that we eat that is in the bar form or protein that we eat that is in the animal form. Yeah. And from there, it evolved in a way that it became more interesting to children if you brought in a funny twist.
Sure.
And so it became the dung beetle.
Yeah.
And from the dung beetle, then I learned about different animals and what different animals eat, and then about their poop and how they poop and the different colors of poop and what goes into the poop.
Expert on that.
I am an expert on that now.
Well, kids like to talk about that.
They love it. They absolutely love it. And from there, I learned about how the nutrients in the foods in our bodies help us grow bigger and stronger. Mm-hmm. So Lulu's brother is very sickly in the book, and he starts eating different dung. And through that, he gets different nutrients, and he starts becoming stronger. So through the series, he learns to eat different foods and to combine different foods to become the biggest, baddest, strongest beetle in the village. So that's the whole point of the book, is to teach the kids really to eat a variety of foods so that they grow up to be big and strong.
Well, I know that this is the first book.
This is the first
in
book.
the series,
Mm-hmm.
and so do you envision? I know you just said a series. Do you envision these characters taking more of an adventure and a trip, and there would be more teaching opportunities for you?
Absolutely. I have a goal of 13 books. The 13th book is actually going to be a recipe book, and it's going to be Nico, who's the sickly brother. He is going to be big and strong at this point, and he's going to be a chef. And I'm working on his recipes right now. In each book, there are recipes at the end of the book, so the kids make an edible poop treat, which kind of solidifies the message.
Yeah.
And so he is making a cookbook that is actually going to be savory treats. So all of the books so far are sweet treats. And we've got 8 books that are completely written. We are done illustrating 3 of them. The third one is in production right now. It's actually at the printer and being printed, so it will be released in about a month. It's very exciting. We met just this week and started working on the 4th book. So the 4th book is starting the illustration process.
Yeah.
And we hope to have them out pretty quickly. We have a new illustrator, and now that she has kind of learned the way that we do things, she expects to be able to produce them very quickly. So very exciting.
So along the way, like you said, you have so many already completed. Mm-hmm. The message that you're passing along and the challenge I think that we see in society today is, what are our kids eating? Are they eating well? Are they eating junk food all the time?
Yes.
Outside of the meal they're getting at schools, what are they doing? So has that really obviously has been laid on your heart that this is a message that needs to be driven home about the health and wellness of kids and the nutrient factors that they're getting or not getting?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I learned through the book about food avoidance, and it's a condition that kids have that they're actually afraid to eat certain foods. And so that has kind of catapulted me to do a little bit more and to teach kids in a different way.
Yeah.
And so the idea is that this is a funny way for them to learn about foods, and hopefully they will be intrigued to try the food instead of just being afraid of the food.
Sure.
So for instance, with food avoidance, they might be afraid of a raspberry. Mm-hmm. And so with food avoidance, they will teach them to blow a raspberry across the table. And then hopefully they will touch the raspberry with their lips on accident, and then they will not be afraid of the raspberry anymore. And the idea is to eventually get the raspberry in their mouth.
Wow.
Well, book 2 is about berries.
Okay.
And so in book 2, there's a spotted leopard that actually has the berries, let's say, guarded from the pandas.
Yeah.
And the red pandas can't get to their berries. So Lulu rescues the berries and takes them back to the red pandas. And the red pandas are having the berries for their anniversary dinner. So we're hoping that the kids will think that that's exciting. It's an anniversary dinner, so they might think of cake or something for an anniversary. So maybe the berries now become the cake, and it is more exciting to eat because they're rescued and they're a treat. And hopefully they will be excited to eat it in that way. So hopefully it will help with some food avoidance too, and make kids to just learn more and be healthier.
What age kids do you think this is targeted to as far as the reading level?
The reading level is up to age 6.
Yeah.
There are some kids, babies, you can read it to, and they seem to enjoy it. They enjoy the colors of the book.
It's fantastically illustrated.
It really is. She did a great job paying attention to colors. She had young kids when she was illustrating, and so she watched what colors they liked, and then she used those colors in the book. Yeah. And we've noticed between age 3 and 6, they really get intrigued with it and they really enjoy reading it. But ironically, I've been reading it to kids that are in 4th grade, 5th grade, and 6th grade, and they enjoy the story too. So it really is appealing to all levels because the recipes in the book are delicious, and kids that are teenagers are enjoying it. I even had the UNT track team once sat down and they read the book to each other. They even made voices and made it fun, and they enjoyed it. So it's appealing to a larger variety of people, and I think it's because it's silly and it's fun, and it is about poop, and it's something that we all see. That's the point. We all giggle.
Yeah, we do.
It makes us laugh. It's something funny.
Yeah. So I encourage everybody to follow along Lulu's adventure here in the coming books. We're gonna leave that up for people to watch, but I want to kind of move to thoughts about continuing with other genres of writing, or are you? I know this has taken much of your time, and I know we talked a little bit before we started the show here today that there were challenges on the production side even to get off the ground. And what kept you inspired? Because I know there was a period of time that you had this ready to go. It was going a long way, but then there was a roadblock on the production side. And how did you keep your inspiration, your motivation, your positiveness? Because you are one of the most positive people I've ever known.
Thank you for that.
But how did you keep that going? Because I know that had to be disappointing.
Well, yes, it was very disappointing. We ran into a publisher problem. And in that process, I have to thank you because you are one of the people, you and Phyllis Kessel, are two people that came around me and helped me to realize that I did not need to continue on the road that I was continuing, and I had options. And because of you, I did choose a new option, and I decided to self-publish. And to do that, I actually made myself a little book that is this book, but in little form, that I actually carried around with me for about a year, I think, until I finally got the motivation to actually bite the bullet and self-publish. Yeah. So now I am self-published, and I now also mentor other authors to self-publish their books.
For you, though, as a writer, as a person, that's the biggest challenge to just continue. I mean, you could have just said, well, this isn't going to happen, and I've got a full-time day job and many other things to do. But to persevere through that, what held you together, I guess, to give you that perseverance to get to where we are right now, published, 12 more on the way. What was the motivator there?
I have to admit, I took time off.
Sure.
I was a little defeated. Yeah. But I do a lot of volunteering in the community, and that pushed me. People, I think, just energized me, and I saw other people, and they gave me the motivation. They brought me back, and I became happy again and just pushed through. And it was the people around me that gave me the good inspiration. They gave me good words. They gave me motivation. They gave me energy. The people around us are important, and when we listen to them and pay attention to them, they can help us do amazing things. And because of the people around me, I was able to produce my book.
And I want to talk about that one of the things that you do in the community, very involved with the Chamber of Commerce here in Denton, Texas, and you mentioned how important people are to each other. Yes. You're in your line of work with seniors, you're with families who are trying to be caretakers, you're with the aging who are battling all kinds of things. But in that ambassador type role or that networking role within the community, talk a little bit more about exactly how that lifted you up and the support system you got, because I know you had to get through your own personal challenges and life was rearing itself and you're trying to do this. But to reach out or to have other people lift you up during that time, how did that help you?
I think the good Lord was in my heart, and he pushed me to what I actually did is I was at a very low point. Yeah. And I sent texts to friends just saying that I love them or that I was thinking of them or encouraging them if I knew they were going through something. And every time I sent a text, I felt better. And so it became a little bit addicting. I sent more and more. And I mentioned that I was on a real low point. I didn't leave my house for a little while. Yeah. And so Kiwanis eventually is what got me back out. Kiwanis, we meet every single week. And so it came time for the Kiwanis meeting, and I went to the Kiwanis meeting. And of course, we volunteer, and there were volunteer opportunities. So I did that. And then I'm part of the Chamber of Commerce. I'm an ambassador. And the people there are amazing. The ambassador team really they did not even know I was trying to do this. They didn't know what I'd been going through, but they helped me just by being there and by having things to do. They really wrapped around me and lifted me up. And I found that everywhere I went in the community, everybody was just gracious and kind. And I think I saw things with new eyes. I just had a different perspective.
Yeah.
And what was really amazing is that you were there when we did the book signing and we rolled the book out. Every single entity that I volunteered for, that I touched, that I donated to, or I showed up for, came to that book signing.
Wow.
It was the biggest book signing I think you told me that you'd ever been to, and which is amazing because it's my first thing. It's my first try, but it shows that if you give, they give back.
Yeah.
And it shows how many people will wrap around you when you just give a little of yourself.
Well, that you led right into my next question about giving and giving of yourself. We're so busy with our own jobs or things we're working on that I have a lot of people that tell me, well, I don't have time to network because I'm just too busy running my business. But you are vastly invested into that portion of life in giving to others, and now you've seen the benefits of that.
Yes.
But talk a little more about how important it is and it is for you in your life to give to others, because we're getting to what you really do for a living is senior health care, and that is a massive amount of giving of yourself, time, care, love. But the idea of giving back or just giving to someone without any expectation, how that's benefited you, not just through the book, but for you yourself.
Oh, wow. I think it has evolved to almost everything for me. It makes such a difference in my life. I really do get energized. I feed off of it. I feel like I'm doing something good. Everything else just goes away. It melts away when I'm helping somebody else.
Yeah.
It just makes a difference. It's even just the smile on the street to somebody you may not know. You never know what you're doing for somebody just by going out of your way to say hello, or in some cases delivering. During COVID, I did a lot of deliveries of chicken or Lysol or anything that people needed. I volunteered for Hearts for Homes.
Right.
And I just took food or paper towels or whatever it was, and they were just so happy to see somebody show up. And it was a small interaction. It didn't take much time out of my day. And for them, especially during COVID, you didn't get to visit. It wasn't that you were there very long. It was just that somebody took the time for them. And I don't know them. I probably have not seen them again. But that moment was important. And it helped me just as much as it helped them. It's just an amazing feeling.
So dovetailing into that, I mean, what you do is you work for a company, Unlimited
Care.
Unlimited Care of North Texas. And that's a huge need for not just aging seniors, but anyone who needs home care and assistance and sitters and that type of thing. And I've had some experience with you with that. But I like to talk a little bit about your love or calling, I guess. How did you get the feel that, you know what, this is professionally what I should be doing, helping others through this kind of an avenue, a platform?
It was by accident, and it actually was God-given also. There was an opening at Denton Village. At that time, it was Good Samaritan Society, Denton Village. Yep. And I went to interview, but I did not fit the mold. It wasn't, they wanted somebody that was permanent, and I was going to be temporary. But when they looked at my resume, they said, oh, but you would be good at marketing. So they sent me over to the marketing, and I interviewed with actually your sister, Gwen, and Allison, and I was going to support both of them. Yeah. And it really wasn't a marketing position so much as a support position, but I could do it, and they wanted me, they liked me, so they brought me in. And Mike was the administrator, and he noticed something in me that was different that he liked. And so he created a marketing department for me. And I quickly became the marketing department, and then I was over both facilities in Denton. And just through that, having the interaction and being there and watching and seeing and noticing how our seniors are just absolutely amazing people, but we don't give them enough time. We don't stop and listen to them and visit with them. It was really eye-opening to me because I thought I was good to my parents and my grandparents, but seeing it on a different level was really different. And I know that they have so much value, but they don't feel like they have value because we don't give them the same value because they're not working anymore, or they have ailments, or we've already heard that story 30 times and we just can't hear it one more time.
Right.
And it really opened my heart. I had no idea that I would like it as much as I did. And to be honest, I was very afraid to go there because I knew they were going to pass away.
Yeah.
And I didn't want that feeling.
Yeah.
And the first time that one passed away that I truly adored was very hard, but I would never change it. It was the most wonderful experience because she brought so much love to my life. And she made a difference. She taught me so many things. There is not a problem you have in the world that cannot be solved by going into a senior facility and asking about 5 people. And they all have a different answer. And so you pick what works for you and your problem solved.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah. But I truly adore them. It was just by accident that I fell into the industry, but I will always be here because it's something that makes a difference. It's helping people at a point in their life that they really need your help. They don't realize they need your help, but you're also helping the family. You're helping somebody live because if we're not there, they don't eat. They don't get out of bed. I mean, they don't get to live. They just sit in front of the TV all day. It's just a different realm. But the family gets to know that somebody's there. Somebody's taking care of their loved one, so they know their loved one is safe. So you're really helping so many people with one thing by just being there, just making sure that someone is healthy, happy, and whole. So it's a calling.
It is a calling. And aside from the maybe the medical or the physical needs of seniors, whether they're living in a facility or homebound, and you're providing assistance there through a sitter, that type of thing, would you agree that these seniors are so starved for just someone to talk to?
Absolutely.
Time, someone to come in and say hi to them, and they, I'm sure they just probably gravitate to you and that type of thing. So are you seeing that as really one of the biggest needs that our senior community has right now?
I would agree with you. And I think that when we were all isolated in our little silos during COVID, that really brought it to light because people need people. And we need interaction. And there are a lot of seniors that are out there that don't get interaction. And without that, they don't live. They don't live long, especially. They really do need to have somebody there, someone to visit with. And they do want your time. They do want you to stay. They want to tell you the story 30 times. And they want you to be a part of their life. But it's important. It's very important, not just to them, but you will get so much out of it if you just take the time to sit and listen.
And what do you try to tell the families who maybe don't, or, I mean, they don't always have the time to come stay a lot of times. Some do, some don't. What's the tight line that you have to walk there between the family caretakers and then the facility that you're trying to work with too?
It is very difficult to be a family caretaker or to if you hire a company like ours to have somebody come in and you're the one that's managing that and having a job and having a family. They're calling it a sandwich generation where you have kids and you have parents that are aging and you're in the middle. Yeah. And you have to manage all of these things. And it's incredibly difficult. And I really think that if you are in the sandwich generation, you need to give yourself some grace. You really do. You do need to think about looking for professional services that can come in and help. And there is no guilt in that. I think our society, unfortunately, it puts a lot of guilt on us that we feel like we can't take care of our loved ones. But that's not really what it's about. You're actually taking better care of your loved ones by having somebody come in that can help. If you have somebody come in that can help your parents, and let's say that they're cleaning, they're doing the laundry, they're making the meals so you know they're eating right, they're actually saving the energy your parents would be using to do those things so that when you come and visit, you're having a better visit. Yeah. And maybe when you come and visit, you're not the one taking them to the doctor all the time because somebody else is doing it. Yes. So your visits are more pleasant and you're getting more out of them. You're getting to visit and learn things about your parents maybe you never knew. And that's all by having somebody else and do those other things. And plus, if you're managing kids and their schedule and all of that, It just is a lot harder. How great would it be if you're going to the ballet recital, if the caregiver brings your parents to the recital and you don't need to do that piece. You don't need to go get them and bring them to the recital and take them home and add that to your schedule. Then everybody enjoys a recital. You can go to lunch afterwards and enjoy lunch or dinner and have good times, and you just don't have that extra added stress.
Is the battle for the caretaker person more than with the family to try to convince them of that, or it seems like, because I've been in this position with, as you well know, with the person who's the aging parent, most likely will do whatever the caretaker wants them to do, or the sitting service but convincing the family that we can help you, we can be a part of you, you can let go of things. Is that more of a challenge than taking care of the actual patient?
Well, it depends. It can be. Sometimes it's the family. Sometimes it's actually the client. It really depends on who they are. The clients, when you bring a caregiver into the home, sometimes they feel like they have to host the caregiver. Oh. So they feel like there's somebody in their home, and their generation, they host them. So they get them drinks, they get them food. And so there's a learning curve there. And some of them, we all have maybe a drawer in our house we don't want anybody to look in, right? Sure. And having someone in your home that is doing these things may look in that drawer, and that's scary. So there are clients that we have to break down that wall, and there is sometimes it takes a long time for them to feel comfortable to have somebody in their home. Yeah. Now you also have the family, and the family is very worried about who's in the home, and they want to make sure that it is somebody safe. So you do want to make sure your agency does do background checks and make sure that their people on a regular basis are checked to make sure that you have somebody good in the home. You want an agency that pays attention to their caregivers and looks for things that are good, bad. You want a caretaker that has a heart for it too. It makes a big difference, because there is a lot that can happen when they're in the home. But most of the time, you're going to get somebody who's really good, because if they don't have a heart for it, they wouldn't be in this business.
Absolutely. Are we seeing our society moving more towards, and maybe it's the opposite, more towards aging seniors wanting to stay at home in their final years, so to speak, and getting care there, as opposed to going to a managed care facility and being independent living, and then eventually to nursing care and on that way. I've seen both sides of it on my family, but is there a trend to more wanting just to stay at home and try to do what they can? Yeah.
Most of them do. And most people will say that they want to stay at home, and they'll ask that their family members keep them at home. Yeah. But there are times when a facility is useful and can be better for the person. It just depends on the person. I know, like, your mom was in a facility and she stayed in an independent living. And when you're in that type of an environment, it's wonderful if you go early enough. Because if you're there early enough, you make friends, you have support systems, and you have different items. Everything's taken care of for you there. Now, if you're in your home longer and you don't have the support systems, going into a situation like that actually is more stressful. Yeah. But most people will want to remain in their home, and they will ask that their family keep them in their home. Yeah. And that's when you bring in services like us. And like other services, you can actually do so many things in the home now that you almost don't need to go into a facility. Now, there are still times when you do need to go into a facility. There are things you can't do at home, but doctors do doctor visits at home now. You can have dental visits at home now. You can do so many things. Yes. It's amazing. But it really is kind of a personal choice, I would say. Yeah. Of course, we want your business, we want to come to your home and help you, but there are times when it also is beneficial to go to a facility.
Well, what about for you? You know, you said that you first started on the marketing side.
Yes.
When you got into the senior care, but which you're very good at, but then also you become more entrenched into the thought process of the actual caregiving of what's going on with these different people, and then the attachment or the personal relationships you make with people at the facilities or even at their home, which I know you've been very involved in both of those. What do you attribute to that kind of morphing into, maybe away from the marketing side, more into the personal relationship and caring and trying to provide correct care for them. Well, when did that happen for you, that it became more personal and more of a mission to fulfill on your side?
That's a great question. I don't know if I've ever thought of it, but I think I lied to myself. In the beginning, when I was marketing, I went to visit with people because I wanted their stories. I wanted to be able to go in the community and tell people why they should come live with us, why we're a benefit. But I think that was a lie. I think I just loved them and I wanted to visit with them because I found myself I had coffee with your dad so many times in the morning, and I just wanted to talk to him. I just loved him. And I think I love people and I wanted to visit with them. And I used marketing as an excuse so that I could go see them and I could visit with them. And I did collect their stories. But more than that, I made friendships and I adored I still do. I'm still welcomed at both locations, at Denton Village and Lake Forest Village, as part of the community. I'm not an employee there. I'm not an outsider there. I am a friend. And I am a family member there because I just adore them. They are just the most special people. They come into your lives and they're there permanently.
So when you went to see these people, obviously under the guise of I'm here to do a job and it's part of what I do, but what did it do? What did it do for you, to you personally, or in depth in your heart, in your soul, who you were as a person when you started visiting with, whether it was my dad or someone else, all these other people, and you walked away from that? But the change or the impact that you felt personally, what did it do to you?
Wow, that's a really great question too. It made such an impact on my life. I think I started changing everything because my viewpoint changed. It just changed. Everything looked a little bit different because I saw things differently. It wasn't all about me. I think I changed my viewpoint to look at other people differently, and maybe became a little more of a servant because I saw things completely different. It's just a different mindset, I think, being in the atmosphere. And now, I'm not in a big facility and I don't get to see as many people as often, and I crave it. I really miss it. So when I get to go into facilities or I get to go visit one of our clients, it's just heartwarming for me. So I do believe I changed internally. I think it's something that I will never give up.
And I like your use of the word servant because I see your service in the community. So did that seem to really maybe entrench in you that service and servanthood, servant heart is what you're all about, and now you've transferred that into the community and what you do and giving, and has that now molded you just to be a servant in however you can contribute?
I think so.
Yeah.
I realized that later in life, I realized that I had not really put myself into the community. I hadn't volunteered much. I didn't understand it. I didn't know how to do it. And I started doing that when I came to Good Samaritan and realized how much I had missed and what a deficit it was in my life. And it was a complete turning point for me when I got in the senior care industry and went to Good Samaritan. My eyes were opened. My heart was changed. Everything completely changed and made me who I am today. And I really believe I'm stronger. I think I'm better. I have more people behind me that can push me. I have more people to push. It's just an amazing transformation, and it's all because I was exposed to people that I didn't know and unfortunately didn't stop to listen to in the past.
Now that you're out in the community, Tanya, you're going to every grand opening of companies and there's volunteering time for this and that. How you see that? How does that kind of servanthood and service benefit the community when you see, or when you get out and do things like that? How does it uplift a community like Denton when you can give time to other things that really you might not get anything from, but you're giving your time and your heart and your belief in to help someone else?
Wow, I think that Denton is a better place because of what we do.
Yeah.
I really love the fact that we get to go see people as they open. They're excited and they have things to share or to sell. And we get to greet them, we get to welcome them to Denton, and then we get to go share their story. And we get to tell you about it, and we get to bring you to their place, and it's exciting, and it pulls Denton together. Denton is such an amazing community. We all support each other, and we do that through knowing. And so the ambassador program and getting to go to the ribbon cuttings and getting to meet everybody is part of that. We pull everybody together, we share their story, and we make Denton a better place because everybody knows somebody. So you can ask a question in a room and somebody's going to know where you need to go, or there might be 5 or 6 places you need to go. So you get to experience all of it. But it really does seem to bring the community together in a positive way.
And on that note, the importance of companies supporting other companies, there's a lot of dynamics that could be, well, I'm in direct competition with that other restaurant or that other company. So no, I'm not going to do this or that. But there seems to be a theme, which I know that you push and all ambassadors push, that we're all here to support that kind of a thing. But talk a little more about how that theme seems to be very strong in this community about local companies supporting other local companies in whatever their vision or they're trying to accomplish.
I love that you said that because Denton is a very special place. I have marketed other places, and it's fairly cutthroat.
Yes.
And I have a good friend named Carol, and she says that Denton plays nice in the sandbox.
Oh,
and
okay.
we do. We support each other. And just let's say, Unlimited Care is a good example. I refer out. I have companies that I visit with. I find out if they're like-minded. I find out that they take care of their care their care is similar to ours, and they take care of their client like we do. And if I can't help the client, I call them and I make sure that they're taken care of. And a lot of companies in Denton do that.
Yeah.
And it's important because we don't want, first of all, if I have a client and I can't take care of them, I'm not going to let them go until I know they're taken care of.
Sure.
And so that's important, that they're taken care of before they go. But what's important after that is that if I can't take care of them and I send them somewhere else, they get the same care and their world is expanded because they find out there is more. And 9 times out of 10, they'll come back because you helped them.
Yes.
And so Denton just becomes a bigger and better place because we're all helping each other.
Yeah.
And they really do come back. I think when you listen to almost any industry, when they talk with each other, they get ideas from each other. They support each other. They work together. They put on conventions together. They put on events together. It just is such an amazing place. And it's all because we're willing to share.
Yes. Well, in looking at the community in general, and as much as that you're involved in it and going out and seeing so many different institutions and businesses that are trying to make it and help each other out. What's the underlying theme that you hear from business owners? I know you deal with a lot of local business owners. What is the underlying thing that you're hearing, and maybe you've already touched on it, and what your answer was, that makes them want to have a business in Denton and wants to do business locally? Is there any kind of a common thing that says, yeah, Denton, I like this vibe that's going on that makes it work?
That is a lot of it. People love Denton. We're so diverse because we're artsy, we're fun, we're smart, we're business minded. We think ahead. We have 2 universities. We have a junior college. We've got technical schools. We've got everything. Denton is such a great place. And we also are close enough to things that if Denton didn't have it, you could go to Dallas or Fort Worth. That's right. It's not far away. Yeah. But I've even heard that the campus theater has better performers than they do in Dallas. So we've got it all. You don't need to go anywhere. But the best thing is the people. Everybody says that the people here are the best. And that's coming from anywhere. Not just the people who are moving here, because we all know that we're getting, I think the number is now 80 people a day or somewhere around
huge.
there. It's a lot.
We're exploding here. Yes.
But those people plus the people who are still here or have moved here, everybody says it's the people. There's something different. Yeah. And I think it's because we are like-minded in the way that we want to share. We all want to be better. We want to give. And what a better place than Denton to do it.
Yes. All right, I want to flip back to the author side of things now. You've talked about your journey in writing this book and several more that are coming in this series. Your how you got started in the senior care thing and getting past some personal challenges in life and the support of the community. Are you at a point right now, Tanya, where you or that kind of confidence and that kind of positivity perhaps may lead you to say, I think I might want to take on another book or book series? Is there something else spinning around in your creative mind?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yes,
Figured there was.
I do. Yes, there are other books that I have in mind, but I have to say that mentoring the authors right now,
Yeah.
it's really neat when you write a book and you see your book and you get to flip through your book, feel the pages. It's amazing. But when somebody you've mentored sends you their book, that's magnified. It is the most amazing feeling that you've helped somebody live their dream.
Wow.
Because you already know what it feels like, but now you're helping somebody else to do that. I'm loving that. That is just an amazing feeling and something first of all, I never thought I could do that. And second, I just adore it. I think it's just I actually have a special bookshelf now where I only have 3, but I'm going to get more.
Yeah.
And I have 3 books that I've helped somebody publish. And it's just the coolest feeling.
Well, tell me a little bit more about that. How did that come about as far as like you could help other people? Was it just the experiences you were going through, production-wise, writing-wise, the creativity, illustrators? I know you're working with that kind of thing. Did you just come away with some epiphany that I think I could help somebody else do this?
I told a lot of people about my struggles because, as you know, I had a publisher and it didn't work out. And then I learned to do it myself, and it was a long learning curve. I didn't know how to find an illustrator. I found an illustrator. I found an editor. There was a lot to do that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And so I learned about it, and I shared my struggles with people. And so then other people would say, I'm writing a book. What do you think about this? And so over time, I realized I was helping people. And then I had an opportunity to go through TWU's magnified or amplified course.
Yeah.
And so I submitted an application and I got chosen.
Okay.
And so they taught me how to get it a little more organized and to actually turn it into a business. And so once I did that, then I felt even more empowered, and I've been doing a little bit more. I have never turned it into the business side yet, which I probably should do, but I actually get such a good feeling out of just giving the time.
Yeah.
And I am a little time strapped, so I don't know that I could do the business side as of yet.
Right.
But I just really it's something I think the good Lord put back on me to give me that energy, to give me that excitement, and to help other people, because it's a different feeling. It's just amazing because you get to watch somebody bloom.
Yeah. I was going to say, do you think that is a side blessing, if you will,
Absolutely,
that has come from this journey for you?
Absolutely. I think that is the Lord turning something negative into something positive.
Yeah. Are you seeing the same challenges that these people are telling you that you went through?
Absolutely. I see the same ones, and they're actually teaching me.
Are they?
Which is really exciting, because there are things that they've learned that they'll tell me, or they force me, they don't know this, but they force me to go learn more so that I can be a better benefit.
Wow. What do you think that you've learned most about yourself through this particular journey, the book journey, and the fact that now you're in a mentoring role? What have you learned about that maybe you didn't realize you were about?
Well, I know I can persevere.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to land on my feet. And I used to not have a lot of self-esteem. And I have realized in the past couple of years that that's gone.
Yeah.
That I actually I have a positive attitude. I feel good about myself, and I can take on the world now.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Yes, you can. What's the encouragement that you're giving these up-and-coming writers who may be finding their own anxiety or challenges and perhaps considering giving up? What are you challenging them with mostly?
It's mostly just encouragement.
Yeah.
It's mostly the fact that they can do it because I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, I think all of us just need someone to say you can do it, or yes, that's okay. Because we know we can. We just need that little extra push.
Yes.
And sometimes it is a connection. Sometimes it's, I know an illustrator, or I know an editor, or, this is the process I used. But most of the time, I really think it's just the one person that is behind them, believing in them, or asking periodically about it, or cheering behind them. I don't think it's that they don't have it in them, and I don't think they really need a lot of guidance, because they wouldn't be asking if they didn't really have it, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think they just want someone to believe in them.
Well, I encourage you to keep persevering, because you've accomplished a lot there, and just your encouragement to the senior community, kids through your books that you're working on, and just in the community, being the doctor of social feel-good that you are. But keep doing that, and I appreciate you being on the show today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tanya. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Built for This. Be sure to follow Built for This on your favorite listening platform and share it with a friend. Join me on the next episode when I will share entertaining stories of inspiration, encouragement, and purpose-driven experiences. What are you built for? Built for This is produced and recorded by Heart Media DFW.